Hi everyone and welcome back to National League Lowdown with me, Dan. As you can see, we've got a full house tonight. We're going to break into all midweek games. Craig, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, no midweek game for Braintree, so I've been watching a few of the other games over the weekend. Enjoyable to watch games where, as a neutral, instead of being very tense and nervous throughout and wondering if we're ever going to score a goal.
Yeah, it makes a nice change for you, mate. Makes a nice change. Mark, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, aloha everybody. Yep, the FA Trophy campaign came to an end on Tuesday night for Mount, a 2-1 defeat at Woking, but yeah, we made a good show of it. Damani Mellor missed the penalty, but the conditions were absolutely awful. No way in that second half could we be described as dry toast, as some have suggested, but it will continue the fact that I have tipped Woking to win the FA Trophy, so don't let me down.
Yeah, and not to forget, Macclesfield are big time in the FA Cup these days, so they've got bigger fish to fry as well. So
Exactly.
it's
Come on.
not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Louis, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Dan. Looking forward to this. Some big results, some big games, some big talking points. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I
some
think that
big
links
games.
us in nicely, Dan. I'm going to ask you here. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here. How are you feeling? This will link us very nicely into our first game.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot calmer than I was about this time last night. So, just for obviously reference, we're recording like 8:30ish on the Thursday night. So 24 hours ago, we were 1-0 down and getting played off the park by York. Yeah, the game itself was just really something we've seen from Carlisle now for a couple of years now, regardless of who the manager is. We've had Williamson, we had Simpson, we've now got Mark Hughes. It's the same kind of performance that we're seeing quite a lot of, where they're just not laying a glove on teams. And I've seen some comments, I've had people messaging me about what I'm going to say on here. And to be honest, I wasn't sure what I was going to say, other than I'm going to break the game down. So, you think big games like that, just keep it tight early on. We literally gave the ball away. They broke down our left, crossed it in. Aaron Hayden stops. Cameron Harper stops. Josh Stones taps it in, and it's like one of them should have been going. But this is one of my main issues at the moment with Carlisle. I've never seen a team with two fullbacks that can't attack, can't defend, and can't stop a cross. Like, I don't understand it at all. And he persists with the same players. So Josh Williams is basically playing every game. He's getting found out every game, and then when he goes, he's going to be. He was classed when we signed him. This is a quote. Look this up. A cheat code, because he's fast. So he's fast, but he just runs into blind alleys and falls over. What good's that to anybody? So even if you had the attacking side, let's say, the defensive side lets him down, and then you've got Cameron Harper on the other side. We've just signed Galvin from Barnet. Apparently Hughes doesn't fancy him already. Dropped him already. Put Harper straight back in. We've got Sam Murray that we got from Man United. So we've got 3 left backs at the club, but yet only Cameron Harper plays every game. My issue with Mark Hughes is he's trusting all these players that have let us down in recent time. Aaron Hayden's been poor for months. The midfield, normally, if you've got a midfield 2, you'd have a midfield 2 that one would play the ball, carry the ball, passes through the lines, things like that, and then one who breaks the play up. We've basically got 2 of the same player that just breaks the play up, and then as soon as the ball's at the feet, they don't know what to do with it. You've got Con Clark and Linney that when everything's rosy, like you put them into York's team in that game, they are flourishing and they are scoring goals and creating chances. But you put them in a team that's struggling to create anything, and they look like they're not interested. And it's concerning from a Carlisle perspective. But that's all I've got to say on Carlisle. And also, I think we're not going anywhere with Mark Hughes. I think I did say previously we should give him the season, but I think most of us have seen enough. Now, I would personally be looking to change it. People are on about who would you change him for. I haven't thought that far ahead, but I just think it can't continue the way it's going. But again, that's my piece said on Carlisle. I thought York were good. I thought well organised. We didn't really trouble them apart from one Georgie Kelly chance. Jeff King at right back, obviously they took him back from Boreham Wood. He pocketed Linney all game. Linney didn't get a sniff. I thought midfield, they will come. Boateng out battled both of our midfielders. And then obviously they took the chances as well. The penalty was a joke. I don't know what Georgie Kelly's doing. He obviously thought he was at Gabe Breeze for a minute. He obviously thought he had a head of hair for the change, and him and Gabe Breeze have swapped places. And I don't know what he was doing. And then it could have been 4 or 5 after that. And again, we couldn't have had any complaints. A lot like the first time we played them. York will never get an easier 6 points than what they've had off us this season. And considering we're meant to be in a title race, it's pretty embarrassing. But take nothing away from York. I know a couple of us have had York to win the league, and again, it could happen. I think my pick's still Rochdale. We'll come to them a little bit later on, but York look pretty unstoppable as well. And credit to them and Stuart Maynard as well. He's got them playing some really good stuff. So tried to keep it short and sweet, but I know I've already gone over time a little bit there. But I tried to get as much in as possible. But credit to York. It's not sour grapes. York deserved the win, and they didn't even get out of first gear. Didn't break sweat. And if they did, it could have been even more embarrassing than it already was. Craig, what did you make of this one, mate?
Yeah, so 8-0 over 2 games is very, very, very damning. This game, as you said, I think you said it really well. They didn't get out of second gear. York, Georgie Kelly had that chance to make it 1-0, and it was an awful finish, and not even the worst part of his night, as you've already discussed as well. But we spoke off there, and York would have probably just gone up another gear. Then it'd have been 1-0, and then blink, and it'd been 3-1 to them. They're looking very, very relentless right now. I think it's 15 unbeaten, probably 16 because they got Braintree at the weekend. But they're looking very, very good, and credit to them. For me, obviously, I backed Carlisle at the start of the season to win the league. I doubled down on it a couple of weeks ago, foolishly, Mike Weird, on that one. And I thought, win this game and it can be a springboard to something for them. And they were poor, so poor. And yes, they were playing top of the league. Mark Hughes, that was your words. We're playing top of the league. What do you want us to do? Mate, if I was Carlisle fan after that, I'd be packing his bags and driving him down the road. Off you go, mate, in my opinion. How can the Carlisle manager, who was the heavy favourites to win the league at the start of the season, be saying, oh yeah, but the other team are top of the league? We don't care, mate. You got to try and win every game. And even if you think they're better than you, then set your team up properly. Set your team up and make them hard to beat. He was naive, and I think he's raised his run there. As for a prediction, new manager, Andy Wing would be my one there for that one. But yeah, I'd be so disappointed in what Carlisle have offered. I've always said that this season they haven't hit the heights that they should, but they're still in it. For me, they're out the title race now.
Yeah, I mean, just on what you said there, for me personally, I grew up in an era where Mark Hughes was banging worldy goals in for Man United under Sir Alex Ferguson. I find it really hard to believe that the mentality that he's shown there with, oh, we're playing top of the league, lads. Imagine if he'd said that to Sir Alex Ferguson back in 1994 or something, or we're playing Liverpool, they're top of the league, Sir Alex, we've got no chance. Imagine that.
He'd have got the Beckham boat, wouldn't he?
Of course he would have done. Of course he would have done. It's just it's a crazy way to look at things, in my opinion. Like if that's his mentality, then he needs to be gone just purely on that. Forget all the other stuff. But like it's like if everyone had that mentality, Macclesfield don't beat Crystal Palace. If everyone had that same mentality, like, oh well, they're better than us, we've got no chance. There'd be no upsets, there'd be no achievements, there'd be nothing for us to talk about. It'd just be the same teams winning every week. I can't get my head around it. And the thing that I thought as well was that he was quite arrogant in the way he came across as well in his interview after the game. The commentator had absolute howler. Basically on the game saying that, oh, this isn't good enough, this is nowhere near good enough. And then he interviews Mark Hughes and Morgan Feeney and basically says, oh, it was a close game, could have went either way for a while. And then obviously they got the penalty in 2-0, 3-0 and then buttered over it. And I'm just like, at least stick to your guns. Like I said, I was like, I'm coming on here putting myself out there. Like, so I know I'm probably going to get stick because I get stick all the time and I'll probably be getting called negative and I'm clueless and all that because I get it every week. But at least I'm just telling you what I think. I'm not trying to protect, myself like maybe some people are from interviews and things like that. It's just, I think you've got to just be honest with yourself, and it's not good enough. And I've said it all season. I've been consistent. I haven't flip-flopped. I haven't done anything. I've just been consistent. We haven't played well all season. All season. and
Yeah,
that's a sad
I think all
indictment.
those fans that called you negative early in the season, mate, might be joining you on that boat, though.
Well, they're not welcome on it after the stick they gave us. So, especially one guy that we invited on the podcast to have it out with me about 3 weeks ago. We're still waiting for your reply, mate. If you're watching, so let us know. I'll send you my address across. But yeah, like I say, it's just frustrating. But take nothing away from York. Again, I don't want to come across like sour grapes. They were good. They were as good as they had to be. Didn't have to be amazing over both games. They probably haven't got out of second gear in both games and hammered us. So credit to them. Mark, what did you make of this one?
Lambs to the slaughter, I'm afraid. I mean, you look at the top of the table. How York have got there, how Rochdale have got there, how Boreham Wood have got there. Carlisle fans must be looking and thinking, why aren't we doing that? The football sometimes is absolutely chronic, and it goes back to, I mean, you think of Mark Hughes' managerial career. Blackburn, he's done the Welsh national team. Manchester City, QPR, Stoke,
Fulham.
it's not, or was it Fulham as well? He's had that many, I can't remember. I mean, now he'll probably end up with another one to add to his CV. But he's not some small time name. This is what, as you point out, Dan, this is one of the biggest names football's ever known. He played for Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Chelsea. Surely that experience of what he's picked up in the various leagues in the various countries would transmit into something tangible in his managerial career. But I think somebody pointed out on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you call it these days, that there was a pivotal point in January. I think one of the your last director of football pulled the trigger on the last manager and brought Hughes in. Was that correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Tierney.
Yeah. I think Mark Tierney's going to do the same. If they want to save their season, they have to do something because, I mean, for the people calling you negative as well, watch this game again. And then you'll say, he might have a point there. But York, my goodness gracious me, they will never, ever have an easier task as what they had. I mean, there's the chant of, can we play you every week? And York play like they are playing Carlisle every week. Absolutely astonishing. I mean, especially the Stones goal. I mean, you could have put the Rolling Stones there and they wouldn't have had an easy chance. It's mind-boggling that one, for the talent that they've got. I mean, Regan Linney on the wing. I mean, stick him up front with Georgie Kelly. Go 4-4-2. You've got the players there.
All right,
Do
Mark,
it.
that's it.
Yeah, I'll take that. But, I mean, Hugh comes from an era of playing that formation as well. And he didn't do his former clubs much harm, but York, they just want to cement that top spot because it's now or never for them, but they've got they're oozing class at the moment. I mean, no Fagan Walcott, no problem. We'll just put Morgan Williams there. And Jeff King, they brought him back for a reason, and he played very, very well. Zach Johnson was like a rock, but you could argue that they didn't have much to do. But you've got to take care of what's in front of you, and they did the job. They did the job of champions last night, York, and Carlisle. I'm sorry, they did the job of a bunch of chimpanzees.
You got away with words, Mark. You got away with words.
No.
But yeah, like you say there as well. Just mentioning Jeff King there, that bit of business from York. Not only did they weaken a rival in Boreham Wood by taking him back, they're also playing him, and he's playing like prime Cafu at right back.
Yeah, you want to win leagues. You want to win this league. You've got to be ruthless, and that's what York have been. They're being ruthless. They don't care who it upsets. Let them cry in the corner. Let them cry in the corner. If you're getting your business done correctly, don't matter. Leave these ham and eggers behind.
Louis, what did you make of this one, mate?
Yeah, not too much more to add. I think the worst and the scariest thing about it is Hughes dumbing down on the fact that he doesn't really see much going wrong, and he kind of expects York to turn them over because they're top of the league. And for a club the size of Carlisle, with the squad you've got, with the money you've got, and the backing you've got, it is just not good enough to have that as the excuse. And I think that's the scariest thing. It's kind of a Morecambe-esque approach of, well, nothing's going wrong. We're doing what we're doing, and we'll move on, and we'll lose the next game. Yeah, full credit to York. I think they are just a class above a lot of the sides in the league. I think they're slightly better than a lot of their title rivals. Rochdale fans might say differently, but I think if York do win the league, I can see it being a good 8 to 10 points if they do get rolling and they do get going. I know Rochdale have got games in hand, but yeah, I can fully see York taking it away and just learning from their mistakes last year and just going on a huge run and sweeping it clean.
Yeah. Again, it's hard to argue with it. Like I say, I know I've picked Rochdale, but it's hard to argue with York
Could have been worse.
as
You could
well.
have picked Carlisle, mate.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll move on from this very swiftly because I'm fed up now talking about it. Next up, we've got Boreham Wood 1, Scunthorpe 3. Louis, I know you watched this in full flow. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, I don't think any of us saw it coming. I don't think any of us predicted Scunthorpe to get the win on our predictions, and they were fully deserving of this. It was an outstanding performance. They took the game to them from the off. They had a number of chances to start with, not ones that you think they should score, but shots from the edge of the area. They were getting in good positions. They were getting crosses in the box. They were a handful from set pieces. Boreham Wood just, it's a mixture of not being able to handle them and just not turning up. And Wood did have a goal disallowed on 25 minutes from a set piece. I think it was a foul as the ball came into the box. And then 2 minutes later, Scunthorpe got their deserved lead from Whitehall from one of the set pieces that they'd caused trouble with all game. There was a wind assist. I think the wind was a big factor in this game, but they made the most of it and it sort of bundled its way through. And as I said, fully deserved from Scunthorpe, and they went and got their second. About 10 minutes later, a lovely finish from Callum Roberts, his 10th of the season, comes in from the right hand side and puts it into the bottom corner, and the goalkeeper's got no chance. And yet I was sitting there thinking a 2-0 scoreline is always a bit of a risky scoreline going in 2-0 at half time because you don't know how the team's going to react. So full credit to them, they go and get the third, and at that point they've killed the game off. The Westbrook goal, a hard volley from a narrow angle, and the defence couldn't deal with it. I don't think they defended really well in the game. Ball watching and jogging back, and you could hear Luke Garrard on the sidelines was not a happy bunny at all. The amount of expletives you heard during the first half was quite shocking, but quite rightly so. He has high standards for his team, and they didn't match it, and they weren't winning their duels. They weren't pressing as hard as Scunthorpe were, and they just were not good enough. And it's easy to come out in the second half as you Boreham would and dictate the ball and have the territory, but I think Scunthorpe were pretty comfortable. Obviously, Luke Norris got a consolation, his 5th goal. It's his first goal since the 20th of August. Who's that against, Craig? Braintree.
She only got 2 against us as well.
Yeah,
he got
about
4 in a week.
games where he got 5 goals. Yeah, I think that the biggest thing to take here is the record that these two sides have got against the teams around them. You look at Boreham Wood; they played 8 of the top. They played 8 games against the sides around them. They've won 1 of them, which was against Carlisle. They've drawn 4 and lost 3, so they picked up 7 out of 24 points available. But you flip that around and you look at Scunthorpe; they've picked up 3 wins, 2 draws, and 1 defeat in the games that they've played. The defeat was against Carlisle, so 11 points out of 18 in those games. They're picking up points against the teams around them, and they may drop points against the likes of Morecambe and lose to Solihull and lose to Altrincham. But if you win those games against the teams around you, you've got a really, really good chance of being in that title race and getting that title at the end of the season. And currently sitting in 6th with 53 points. It's an outstanding points tally. And a few seasons ago, I was looking at past seasons. They're in 2nd place, 3rd place at this time of the season. So they're fully in this title race, despite the fact they're 6th. And I think they're more in the title race than the likes of Forest Green and Carlisle, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we all underestimated Scunthorpe this week with our predictions, and all the credit. Yeah, and all the credit in the world to them. We get accused of not liking them and stuff on here, or not giving them enough credit, and that felt. I think you put it in the message. I think Craig, statement win, and it was like everyone kind of sat up and took notice of it, and it really did stand out. Craig, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I thought it was a statement win.
Sorry to steal your line off you there, mate.
No, every team up there, bar probably Carlisle, have had that result that's made you stand up and go, hang on a minute, these are a good side, and this is definitely the one for them. They've battered a Boreham Wood team that on Sunday we were all saying are probably one of the best footballing teams in the league, and they haven't had a sniff. So full credit to them, and they've had that minor blip in November, and since then the train's kept rolling and rolling on. They're absolutely flying. Like you said, Louis, I tend to agree with you on that they're probably more in the title race than actually Carlisle and Forest Green, because momentum's such a huge thing in football, and they've got it when the other two haven't. So yeah, credit to them. Boreham Wood, that resident stat man has surprised me that they've really struggled against the other top 7 sides. But that shows how relentless they've been in games they should win. And maybe it is showing that they're not the finished article yet. And that's why they're struggling in these games. And maybe the bigger teams have found a way to beat Boreham Wood, bar Carlisle, but everyone can beat them at the moment.
Oh, stop! He's dead already.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Ask Chatham Town.
But it was interesting. Obviously, Garrett twisted at halftime and made them 3 subs. What would he do at the weekend? Would he go back to the 11 that have done so well but had a horrid first half, or will he put a bit of rotation in? Miranda, will he start his first game? Will Norris get a start? He's obviously been right on the fringes recently. Or will he just say, no, that was just a blip. Let's keep going with what we had, kind of. And that'll be the interest, because you don't want these things to spiral and continue, which I don't think they will do, but it easily can. So will he freshen it up, or will he go, no, I'm trusting the boys that have got me so far already? But Scunthorpe were class.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I'm intrigued to see how Boreham would bounce back from that. We haven't really had many setbacks after this season, so it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back from that. Obviously, we'll do our predictions later on, but yeah, Mark, what did you make of this one?
That was the result of Tuesday night. I mean, a red hot Boreham Wood, and Scunthorpe made it look so easy. I mean, when you hear, and it was very audible, that Luke Garrett was going along the lines of, what the football, crazy football mad was that? It takes a lot. It takes a lot to get a manager in that mood, if you will. But Callum Roberts, I've said his name all season. Him and Danny Whitehall. Roberts is one of the premier players in the league. He brings so much to the table for Scunthorpe, and you can tell that minor blip when he wasn't playing. Don't believe in coincidence. He makes that team tick. Zane Westbrook, I'm very impressed with him. I can see why Scunthorpe was so keen to keep him at the club until the end of the season. But Boreham Wood, do they need to be shocked into doing better? I think yes, that shock has come. And yeah, there's a good point in saying, are they afraid of being in the position that they're in sometimes against the bigger teams? You just don't know. But Carlisle, Forest Green, all have to watch out, because they better keep one eye open for what Scunthorpe are doing, because if they can keep a level of consistency and keep Roberts fit, if possible, Whitehall, Westbrook, then there is no reason why Scunthorpe cannot get in that mix. Because if Carlisle and Forest Green continue to falter, just picking up 1 point or no points at all, then they're there. They are ready. They're ready to pounce, because they were so impressive. But Boreham Wood will come back from this, but they've had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. Next up, we've got Solihull 0, Rochdale 1. Craig, this was your game. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, so I didn't catch the full game. I went out for a lovely Turkish. Half price Friday, 20 half price Wednesday, sorry, 20 quid. It was lovely.
20p.
Well, you're going to say 20 pence then?
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say 20
No, so we can all do that.
But no, I was tracking it on my phone, and I'd had a bit of a debate through the day with a Rochdale fan saying they never draw, and it was edging closer and closer and closer to the draw, and then they done what prospective champions do, and they found a way. I was just looking, they made 5 changes in the last half hour, and they brought on some serious depth. I'm just going to get their names up here. Belongo, Pritchard, Casey Batty, Ian Henderson, and Tyler Smith. That's depth. That's depth to their squad that they've come on to beat a very good Solihull side. Wasn't a classic by any stretch of the imagination, but as a team at the top, you're going to have those games. Solihull were unbeaten at home in 7 games before that. The whole time under Chris Millington, in fact. They were competing. They had half chances as well. There was only really half chances in the game. There was no real Georgie Kelly miss in that game, you'd say. It was all half chances. And Rochdale found a way. And to win titles, you have to find a way. And that's what they've done. Don't get me wrong. For me, I'm sure we can debate this in a second. Cross. It's a cross. I don't think it's the moment of magic it was described on commentary. I think it's a cross. But to win titles, to win championships, you need a bit of luck. And it went their way there. They've been up against it, against a good Solihull side, unbeaten in 7. They found a way. They used their depth. They asked the questions of the players that haven't been in the team. Can you come on and give us something? And they answered with a resounding yes, and they walked away with 3 points. And as a team at the top, you've got to do that sometimes.
Yeah, massive credit to Rochdale. Like I say, obviously I was watching the Carlisle game, obviously, but I seen the goal come through, and it was like 90+5 or something, and I was just like, that's what champions do. Late goals. You see it over the years with all the good teams. They score late goals, and when you see the goal, it is a cross. They can tell me what they want, but it's a cross. But like Craig says, you create your own luck. They made them substitutions. They were brave enough to change things up, have a go. The thing that impressed me the most is Solihull moves have been scoring for fun, and they kept a clean sheet, kept them out, and kept them pretty limited on chances as well. So that was massive credit to Rochdale as well.
Good to see Oliver Watmuff back as well. I don't know if that was his first game or he's been in a few since. But
No, it was his first game back. It was
First game back.
last night. First game back.
18-year-old goalkeeper. The clips I saw, he just looks so assured again. He's an unbelievable goalkeeper. But yeah, good win for them. Good win. Not vintage, but not everyone will be.
Yeah, definitely. Destined for big things, I think, Watmuff. Louis disappeared for a sec there. Mark, what did you make of this one?
Cross shot. It's not going to matter to the Rochdale fans. It's not going to matter to the Rochdale players. They absolutely you play the full time. Welcome back, Louis. Yeah, you play until that final whistle, and that's what Rochdale did. I mean, you've got to huff and you puff sometimes, but if you get, like Craig said, against the Solihull team that were just, a bit swashbuckling for the last 6 weeks, but Oliver Watmuff makes the difference in that goal, and no surprise. I mean, he has got such a great future ahead of him, whether it be at Manchester City or somewhere else, like it's been touted. But Jimmy McNulty, he did it. He made the right decisions at the right time. Didn't leave it too long to make those changes. Persistence pays off. I'll stick with York winning the title, but they're not going to have it easy because Rochdale are on their tail, and they better not get complacent, because if they do, Rochdale will be there to snap them up, because they were very, very good. Very, very good. Solihull, they can take, they can take a bit of a disappointment out of it, because they really should have got something out of it. But Chris Millington's got them, he's got them scoring, apart from last night, Tuesday night, I should say. Joe Sabara's there. Yeah, they'll be backhammering in 2 or 3 goals pretty soon. But yeah, Rochdale doing exactly what it says on the tin and keeping everybody on the toes.
National League lowdown road trip to Rochdale, York on the final day.
I was just about to say, yeah. Don't forget they play each other last day of the season. We might have to do a live special. We'll have to forget what our teams are doing. Hopefully, whatever our fates are, they're all sealed and done and everything by then. We can all get ourselves
I tell you, I would not want to be a supporter of either club that day if it goes down to 1 point or the level on goal difference. That would. No, you steel underpants time that.
Definitely. Louis, what did you make of this one, mate?
Yeah, I've been slightly worried about Rochdale just because of the few injuries that they've had. Obviously, we mentioned Sam Beckwith before. It's a few weeks he's been injured now, but obviously we have to give him his full name now, Emmanuel Disarue, with the other Manny D in the door at Rochdale. With him being out, you think where are the goals going to come from? But they're getting them, and their strong defence is allowing them to just nick those 3 points. That obviously, they got the other night. Yeah, having such a strong defence is kind of one on the other. With York are the ones that are scoring the goals, and Rochdale are the ones that are keeping them out. It's which one's going to blink first in that sense, I think, with the title race. And as you said, it could come down to the last day, and we could be in for a treat.
Yeah, definitely. Good. That last game, like I say, good defence against good attack. It's got 0-0 written all over it, hasn't it? 0-0 written all over it. We'll wait and see what happens. I'm assuming, obviously, from their perspective as well, they don't want it to go to the final game either, because that is a nerve-wracking day. And then next up, we've got Forest Green 1, Altrincham 1. Mark, you described this on the previous pod as it's like choosing which leg you wanted chopped off. So how did you find this one? I think it was the perfect result for you, was it?
Well, it was definitely a game of two halves. I'll put it that way. I mean, Altrincham played extremely well first half. I've been saying this name over and over again. Oliver Cranshaw looks as though he's going to stay injury free for a bit. Sorry, Ollie, if I've just messed up your season there. But when he's on form, he is on form. He's such a good player. I mean, he wouldn't have earned a big move to Stockport County if he wasn't. And then Robbie Savage, he did exactly what I've seen at Mac. He made the changes, and the second half it was all Forest Green. Jaden Clark with a great goal, very difficult, packed to 18-yard box, and he drilled it in with conviction. And they were trying, but yeah, as you say, the point probably suited Altrincham a little bit better than what it would have done Forest Green. There's been interest in Laurent Mendy and Carl McAllister, which could have upset the apple cart, but Robbie Savage has been in the game long enough to not let that happen. They're still his players. Leave the rumours in the background. So we'll just see, but they can't afford to drop any more points. A good point for Altrincham, a useful but not brilliant one for Forest Green. But as I say, it was definitely, the old cliche of a game of two halves, and it certainly was. And a draw for me personally, keeps me happy.
Craig, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, Altringham's first point, I believe, since the 29th of November. So a long time coming in that one. They lost in that time to Rochdale, Halifax, York, Hartlepool. So probably teams you'd expect them to lose to if you look at the format of the league and how it's going. But a good result for them. But as Mark said, they were the better side first half. And Savage done what managers should do and made some changes and changed the momentum in that game. So fair play to him on that one. Probably the first and last time this season Mark's praised him, to be fair. So, but no, yeah, it's a bad point for Forest Green. Like Altrincham at home, you've got to win it. Yes, they've made the changes, but they should have started so much better. That's all I've really got to say on that one. To be fair,
no, I agree, mate. I agree. I think it's a massive point for Altrincham to stop that rot that we've talked about with them getting dragged into the relegation scrap and things like that. And for Forest Green, if you're wanting to get out of this league, you've got to be winning them games at home. And I'm sure Robbie Savage thinks the same as well. Not that I want to speak for him, obviously, but I'm sure he thinks the same. Louis, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, I mean, following up from it, it's not a good point at all for Forest Green, considering that they're at home, considering they dropped points to us, and then you look 6 points from the last 15 games. Funnily enough, their win came against Halifax, which was probably their toughest fixture in that time. But they lost
6 points from the last 15 points, was it? Sorry.
Yeah, 6 points. They've got 6 points from the last 15 available. So
yeah, you said 15 games. Sorry, I was thinking he'd get sacked.
Even Mark Hughes doesn't do that.
They lost to Brackley, drew at home to Truro, drew at home to Altrincham, obviously drew away to Sutton, and obviously, as I said, beat Halifax. So it puts so much more pressure on the games they've got coming up. And you look at their fixtures: Scunthorpe away, Woking at home, York away, Rochdale away, Carlisle at home. It's massive pressure on them now. They need to get a good run of results in those games to just solidify their place in the title race. And if they don't get those results, those teams will obviously 6-pointers. They'll jump above them and they'll get 3 points extra on them because Forest Green will drop points. So yeah, massive couple of weeks coming up for Robbie Savage and Forest Green.
I'm sure Carlisle will kickstart the back end of their season for them when we turn up. I'm sure. So don't worry about it, Robbie. We'll be there with it wrapped up and gifted for you. And then we're going to deep dive the 4. Then we're going to do 4 quick ones. We all watched a game on Tuesday night, so we've all got one to cover. Craig, you're up first. Southend 4, Eastleigh 1.
Yeah, so the scoreline makes it sound it was easy for Southend, and to be fair, from about the 12th minute onwards, it was. But Eastleigh came out really strong, had a couple of good chances. If they'd have took the lead in this one, it would have been a very different game. But Southend, the minute they took the lead through Charlie Kendall, who's obviously back from injury, he took his chance well, took his chance in the team well, and did really well grabbing a brace. Goal of the day, though, was Gus Scott Morris. On that one, I say goal of the day. Goal of this game, I know Marks believes he's seen a very good one in another game. But Gus Scott Morris, a lovely goal. Maybe not the goal you'd associate with him coming in late at the back stick. It was, he hung out on the box and he arrowed one into the far corner. It was a great finish. Eastleigh did get one back through Lloyd Humphries to make it 3-1, but that was 80th minute, and they kind of went with a whimper, and then Southend added the 4th late on, and it was a fairly comfortable night for them. Like I said, could have been different in the first 10 minutes, but the minute they grabbed the stranglehold on the game, it was pretty routine for them, which is pretty good for them because it's obviously hadn't been that great of the 2025 for them. It got better over the festive periods, and they've gone into 2026, obviously drawing with York now and beating Eastleigh. So, a good place for them. And the likes of Carlisle, Forest Green might be looking over their shoulder for Southend, who are starting to pick up a little bit of form and have games in hand. Granted, 2 of them are Rochdale, so they're not the easiest games in hand you're ever going to get. But if they can spring some surprises, they might not be rooted to that 7th place as we were expecting. They might be knocking on 5th, 6th position as well. But yeah, vintage performance, nice and easy in the end. Eastleigh not looking great under Bartlett, maybe not hit the heights that we expected him to, but should have enough to stay above water. But at one stage on Tuesday night, there was a lot of results going against them, but eventually I think it felt out. It wasn't too bad, and me and Louis were quite pleased with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if we could put up the group chat from Tuesday night in particular, you guys were very worried at one point, but I think it worked out quite well for you in the end. Next up, we've got one of the games that had you worried for a while, arguably the game that surprised us all, and the game of the midweek games. Truro 3, Brackley 3. Mark, you watched this one?
Yeah, I called Scunthorpe the result of Tuesday night. This was the game of Tuesday night. My goodness, the first half was excruciating to go through. Oh, it was like watching a dog dragging its bum on the carpet. It really was that bad. And then before half time, Matt Lowe put Brackley in front, and he thought, right, that was good. That was good. However, the second half, a football match broke out. We couldn't believe it. Brackley went 2-0 up, 5 minutes in, Bedwoodsco, and then it began. It began raining goals. Don Johnson Fisher, he kept his mum happy. He got one back for Truro. Set pieces did really come into it, as it did for Tom Harrison for the equaliser. Then Luke Jeffcott, apologies, Luke, put them 3-2 up, and they thought, right, let's see if they shut up shop. And then Brackley did make some changes. One of those changes was Morgan Roberts, and he scored probably my pick of goal of the month. Picked it up, got on his left, bang, postage stamp, fantastic equaliser. And then, as I said on the group chat, will somebody win this? It had that tension of, who's going to blink first? But a useful point for Truro, might be a useful point for Brackley, but that second half was absolutely brilliant. It really was. I mean, as I say, it was the first half. My God, don't put me through that again, please. But yeah, the second half, absolutely brilliant, and a goal of the month contender from Morgan Roberts. It really was that good.
Yeah. Good, yeah. You could tell by your excitement in levels in the group chat. First half, it was like
I couldn't believe it.
nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my god. So, anyways, talking of classics, doesn't take me nicely onto my game. But Hartlepool 2, Gateshead 1. First half, really poor from both sides. Couldn't really string passes together. Gateshead were doing what you expect from Gateshead. They were playing out from the back, passing a lot around. Just the centre halves were having the ball. And then they got a set piece corner headed in by Lewis Story, who had a bit of a mixed game. But again, it was like, right, you've got something to hold on to here. And it was they looked comfortable because Hartlepool weren't creating anything. Adam Campbell was getting booed and jeered by his own fans quite a lot. Even the commentator was saying, I thought we're supposed to support our players. Not obviously, I don't know the story or anything behind it, but they weren't happy with him at all. He got cheered when he got subbed off, and that's how disappointed them. Yeah, I agree. I don't think you should be doing that to your own players after everything. I said to about my players earlier. I wouldn't be jeering them and cheering them off and things like that. So, but anyway, second half, Lewis Story got sent off for a straight red. Again, it looked a rough tackle. Forceful. I thought he won the ball, but again, both can be right. Like I think we said before we went live. I think it's maybe an orange, but it got given as a red. And then Hartlepool made the changes. Daly came on. I'm just checking his name. Following came on. Just checking his name there. My eyes aren't what they used to be. They came on and they changed the game. They gave them a bit of width, gave them a bit of more of attacking intent, and then it was like a siege on the Gateshead goal. Gateshead was still quite comfortable for a while, and then it got to the last 10 minutes. Alex Reid followed up nicely, finished well, got the equaliser, and then the substitute Daly when it looked like it wasn't coming. Right on the, I think it was like right on the 90th minute when it went on before the added time went up, and he finished really well to give them the lead. And another defeat for Gateshead, but there has been signs of improvement in there. There is a bit of fight in there. There is a bit of, more. They're not just rolling over like they were previously. Rob Elliott is trying to do something. They've obviously brought in a lot of players as well. So I think keep an eye on Gateshead. They might pick up some results in the near future. There is signs there. Hartlepool just outside the playoff places. The gap's probably too big with Southend's games in hand as well. But another good result for them in what is obviously a bit of a derby as well. So not the best game, not for the purist, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the late goals. Next up, Louis, Halifax 1, Morecambe 0. Another classic for you to talk about.
We've slowly gone down the scale of classics, and I think we've landed at the pits here. So yeah, Halifax took the lead early in the 7th minute. Will Harris been linked with Accrington, Crawley, and Oldham today. I've seen in the transfer market, scoring his 9th goal of the season. Nice transitional play from Halifax. Got down to the left-hand side, and it was a nice narrow finish from Harris into the bottom corner. Morecambe had the majority of the ball, had more possession than Halifax, just could not do anything with it. The highlights were 6 minutes long, and the highlights consisted of just long balls over the top that went out for goal kicks and long passes that just didn't find them at all. Nuttall had a good chance just after half time for Morecambe. He's about 6 yards out and he has to do better with it. Morecambe, yeah, they gave away the penalty at the end. Harris did tap in the rebound, but was offside from it. But I think, yeah, it sounded like a pretty dull game, by everyone's standards and what people were saying after the game. 1 defeat in 10 now for Halifax, that defeat coming away to Forest Green. So they're really sort of ramping up that pressure on Southend, and Southend are providing the answers, but it's getting a bit interesting in terms of that chase for that last playoff spot. And I think Halifax are the best of the rest outside the top 7. They've got a good home record, 5th best in the league, 28 points from 14 games. They've got 3 away games now where you think they can improve on it. So they've got Eastleigh away, Aldershot away, and Brackley away now, followed up by Truro at home. So they could keep that pressure ramped up on Southend. Make it an interesting place for the last playoff place in that day. Morecambe, yeah, it's just the same story for them. Same sound bites from Jahal after the game. Their current win percentage is 18.5. Their current points that they've picked up is 25.9% of their points in the games available. I'll credit relegated Shrimp on X for these stats as well. They're not mine. But they need, if they're going to get to 50 points and stay up, they need to win 52.6% of their games, and they need to pick up 54.3% of the points that are available coming up. Are they going to get it under the current manager? I don't think they are. Are they going to get it with the current way the board is going? I don't think so. You look at their recent transfers. Harley, phone hasn't rung. Dean getting his move to Morecambe. First 90 minutes he played yesterday since the 1st of February last year. A load of loanee signings from Premier League clubs. I don't know why Premier League clubs are sending their loanees to Morecambe when, you know, the state that the club was in, but no senior appearance for them. It's looking pretty bleak for Morecambe. And yeah, good luck to them, but I just don't see it changing if they don't change the manager, as we said every week.
Nah, I'll say it every week again, the consistency. If they get a manager in that can grind out results, they've got a great chance of staying up. But right now, under the current manager, they've got no chance. So next up, we've got our predictions update from Craig, and then we're going to do some quick fire predictions for the weekend's games before we finish up. Craig?
I mean, it brought you a little bit of joy this week, I'm sure, Dan, because you won this week again, 2 weeks in a row. Your team might not be winning, but at least you can. Dan got 10 points. Louis, Mark, and our guest Ryan from Scunthorpe got 6, and then I got 4. No perfect results this week. I think there was a couple, as we said, that we called quite badly, but we were with the majorities on that one. So yeah, we'll see what this week throws, and hopefully, and I say hopefully in inverted commas there, 12 games, because I think there's 1 or 2 that are already close to being off.
Woking Yeovil.
Yeah, so we'll predict the 12 because none of them have officially been called off as of time of recording, so we'll do them just in case anyone comes in the comments when this goes out the next day and that one's been called off and they want to tell us. At time of recording, all 12 are on, so we're going to do them. So Aldershot, Carlisle, first up, Craig?
I think these time's up, mate. I'm going to go 2-1 home win.
Yeah, I've got 2-1 home win as well. I think that could be the final nail. I think there was too much of a short time frame after the York game to maybe change manager type thing, but I think Aldershot could be the final nail for him. Mark?
Coleman's got the experience which Hughes could only wish to have at this moment in time. 2-0 Aldershot.
Yeah, just on the flip side as well, before we finish with the Carlisle one, John Coleman's got a really good record against us as manager as well when he was at Accrington and things like that. Really good record. That was also in my thinking. Louis?
I'm going against the rest of you. I've got 2-2 in this one. I think you get something, but I still think there will be a nail in the coffin after that because it's not a good point.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, Altrincham versus Boreham Wood. Mark?
Oh, blimey, Charlie. Well, Alty will be pleased with the point on Wednesday. Boreham Wood will want to get something back quickly. So 1-1.
I've gone for 2-0 Boreham Wood. I'm expecting a response after the Scunthorpe game. I know Altrincham done well against Forest Green, but 2-0. Craig?
Yeah, I'm seeing a bounce back here as well. I'm going to go 3-1 Boreham Wood.
Louis?
Yeah, spoken about how Wood are better than the rest of the teams at the bottom half. I've gone 2-1 Boreham Wood here.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Boston Southend. Louis?
Southend on the run. I'm going to go 3-1 Southend.
Craig?
I think they keep a clean sheet. 2-0 Southend.
Mark?
Holy moly, I'm agreeing with Craig. 2-0 Southend.
Well, you're agreeing with Craig and I'm agreeing with Louis. 3-1 Southend. Next up, we've got Brackley against Hartlepool. I'll go first just so it doesn't look like I'm stealing answers. I've got 1-0 Brackley. I watched Hartlepool the other night. I don't think they score. I think I put it in the group chat. Craig pointed out I was wrong, but if Gateshead had kept 11 men, they weren't scoring if they played all night. So I'm going 1-0 Brackley. Craig?
0-0.
Mark?
Sneaking suspicion Brackley will get this 2-1.
And Louis?
Toyed with 0-0, but I have gone with you, Dan. I've gone 1-0 Brackley.
I did toy with 0-0 for it, to be honest. Eastleigh Halifax next. Louis?
Oh,
Halifax train keep on rolling. 2-0 Halifax.
Mark?
2-1 Halifax. Why not?
Yeah, I've got 2-1 Halifax as well, Mark.
Oh,
Sorry.
man. Well done, Eastleigh.
Craig?
Desmond.
2-2. Next up, we've got Gateshead against Wealdstone. Craig?
Desmond.
Desmond's coming out a few times here. Mark?
Well, sorry to ruin the party. 0-0.
Louis?
I backed Gateshead in midweek and it looked quite good for a period of time. I'm backing them again. 2-1 Gateshead.
I've got 2-1 Gateshead as well, Louis. Honestly, I'm telling you that they are building something. I just don't know when it's going to click. That's the thing. It might be this week. It might not be for another 6 weeks. But you can tell that Rob Elliott is doing something. Next up, we've got Morecambe against Solihull. I'll go first in this one. I think it's the same old story with Morecambe. I'm going 3-1 Solihull in this one. Louis got the same as me, hasn't he?
3-1 Solihull.
Mark?
I haven't. I'm going to go 4-1 Solihull.
Wow. Craig?
2-1 Morecambe.
2-1 Morecambe. Fair enough.
One win a month.
Yeah, it's true. He's running out of time this month to win a game, so you're right, maybe. Next up, we've got Rochdale Truro. Craig?
3-0.
Mark?
Yeah, 2-1 Rochdale.
Is that bad that I didn't even ask who it was to when you said that? Sorry. Louis?
Yeah, on their brand new carpet that Rochdale have got at the Crown Hall Arena. 2-0 Rochdale.
Yeah, I've got 3-0 Rochdale.
What was your score, sorry, Louis?
2-0 Rochdale.
Thank you.
I think it might just be a case there with the prediction of which one of us gets the score right. I think it might be. Next up, we've got Tamworth versus Sutton. Mark?
Holy moly! Oh, this has got a 2-2 written all over it.
Louis?
Yeah, we've had a horrible run of fixtures, and you just think, okay, it might get easier. And I feel like Tamworth away, the worst result or worst game you could have. I toyed with this win. I can see it going either way. I've gone 1-1 on this one. You've got the same.
I've got 1-1 as well. I swear, me and Louis haven't conferred. I promise.
Are you
I've got
sure?
1-1. I'm sure. Louis is just trying to keep ahead of me. You see, he knows I'm on his tail in the predictions league, so he's just if he thinks if I just pick the same as Dan, he can never catch me. So, Craig?
Yeah, a weird one because if I was going to back Sutton in this one because of the freshness, but then Tamworth didn't end up playing midweek as well. So I am going to... No, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to go 2-1 Sutton.
Fair enough. Next up, we've got Woking versus Yeovil. Louis?
Yeah, Mudbath this will probably be, if it goes ahead. That is 2-1 Woking.
Craig?
Yeah, I don't expect it to go to head, so I'm going to go 9-9. No, 1-1.
Mark?
Well, don't go back down to the dry toast levels that you seemingly have put Mac at, you cheeky monkeys. I'm still going to go Woking 2-1 or PP.
Yeah, I don't think it goes ahead when they've already called for a pitch inspection. It's not a good
3
sign.
o'clock on Friday.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see what happens there. But I've got 2-0 Woking for what it's worth, but I don't think it'll go ahead. Next up, we've got York versus Braintree.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll go first on this one, just because I think we're all just so it doesn't look like I'm copying anybody. I've gone 4-0 York on this one. Craig?
Yeah, I did me TikTok for this one earlier, and I went the same 4-0.
Mark?
4-0 York.
Louis?
I toyed with 4, but I've gone with 3-0. 3-0
Chicken.
We can't all go for the same.
1-0 win.
Yeah, Well done, Braintree. And then last up, the late game, which I think, to be fair, if I'm available, I'll definitely be watching this game because it could be a good one. Scunthorpe Forest Green. Mark?
Wowzers. I think the home team are going to be Boyd. Callum Roberts, as I say, the talisman, one of the very, very best players in the league. And I can see Scunthorpe doing this 2-1.
I've got 3-2 Scunthorpe. I think there's goals in this one. Louis?
It's 3-2
Oh.
Scunthorpe.
You've got to be kidding me. What is going on here?
Craig?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a result that neither want, I'm afraid. I'm going to go 1-1.
I did think a draw wouldn't really solve anything, so it could be a draw. But yeah, I think that could be a really good game though at 5:30 on Saturday. So if you're available, I'd definitely be watching it if you can. But yeah, that's it from us, anyways. We've got
a Tuesday night game.
Oh, have we?
Tuesday night game coming up after. Yeah, Rochdale Southend, I think.
Oh,
I just assumed that game was never getting played, to be honest. So.
Yeah, it's on the Sabutio table.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll carry on with that then. So Rochdale, Southend. Louis?
Should we say them at the same time? Just so we're not doing the same one.
Confused Craig. Right, okay. 1, 2, 3. 2-0 Rochdale.
1-0 Rochdale.
Who was 2?
Me.
I'll go 2-1.
Oh, no, it looks like we're copying each other because I've gone 2-1 Rochdale as well. Oh, my God.
You know what this is, lads? We're spending too much time with each other, talking to each other on the podcast together. We know what each other's thinking, that's it.
Somebody needs to get relegated.
But yeah, as I was going to say anyways, before obviously Louis mentioned, which is a good thing, so thank you. That's it from us. But don't forget to head over to TikTok, give us a follow on there. You'll see our match predictions and how wrong we are on there, things like that. And don't forget to like and subscribe while you're on here as well. We've just hit 800 subscribers. Our target for this year is trying to get to 1,000 at some point. So every subscriber is greatly appreciated. Thanks to Craig, Mark and Louis, as always, for joining me. Apologies for my 10-minute rant about Carlisle at the start. We'll see what happens, but thanks for watching anyways. Take care.